Welcome to Superbooth 2024. The first stop for me here is at Moog, where they're showing their new SpectraVox synth. It's a very interesting machine, kind of like a multi-filter vocoder device, and it's actually really cool. I just had a little play around with it, and you can get very creative with the different filter banks, can get some really interesting sounds out of it. I can also imagine running some other gear through it to basically use the filter bank to affect these sounds and then create your own sounds. So really cool stuff, and excited now to see what's up else. Stop number 2 for me here at Superbooth was at the Elektron booth, where they of course showed their new Digitakt 2. Really cool, really fun machine. If you already love the Digitakt 1, you will definitely love the Digitakt 2. I actually used it for the first time, and to be honest, I just forgot how fun Elektron devices are, how immediate they are when you use the performance effects, when you play around with it, and when you just jam. I think it's super cool, and it's just super fun. I also had the chance to talk to George from the Elektron team. I asked him quite a lot of questions, also if there will be a Digitone 2. Let's listen what he said. All right, I'm here at the Elektron booth with George from the Elektron team. George, nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
So I have a couple of questions. I just played around with the Digitakt 2, and it is quite interesting because on the one hand, it didn't surprise me that you made the machine because of the success of the Digitakt 1. On the other hand, of course, it was quite surprising, I think, for a lot of people in the community. Can you maybe explain a little bit about the thought process behind the project and how it all came together, if also the Syntakt had influences on it?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it was a natural choice to make a second revision to the Digitakt, just because we know it's our most popular machine. It's obviously kind of the essence of sequencing and sampling distilled, we feel. And I think that it was missing some capabilities in the first revision that we really wanted to give it. The community for a long time has talked about stereo. I mean, that's obviously there. More pages, more tracks. These are just improvements that are kind of incremental in nature, which really help you express yourself in a more meaningful way. As far as the Syntakt goes, obviously, we're not a big company. We're working on these projects kind of in sequence, and when we have ideas that we apply to one product, we will naturally try to see how they fit into future products. So yeah, I think that the machines, I mean, you saw them in the 150 update for Digitakt 1. However, having another machine on there, even better. Having the MIDI machines as an option instead of dedicated tracks. I mean, that was first tried in the Syntakt, and I think it was a success there. So I think that it was a really good way for us to open the door for Digitakt 2.
That's interesting. You just mentioned firmware updates. I mean, the machine just came to the market, but I remember from Syntakt there were a lot of firmware updates. I'm pretty sure you're already working there on something.
Absolutely. I mean, we're always working on updating our machines. We love to support them for, as long as possible. I mean, some of our machines, like the Rhythm over there, 10 years. I think that we will always put a lot of effort into updates. I mean, obviously, I can't comment on what's coming, but in the future, we'll have lots of great stuff for the Digitakt 2 and the other machines as well.
You just mentioned you can't comment on what's coming, but as a huge Digitone fan, I have to ask this. Digitakt 2, is there a Digitone 2?
No comment.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you so much. So I'm here at the Ableton booth checking out the Push 3 standalone, and I'm not alone. I have Moritz here with me from the Push 3 development team, correct?
Yes, I do UX design for Push 3.
Okay, awesome to have you here. So basically I have a couple of questions as I use the unit now for not a year, but almost, and it's a great device. But I want to understand a little bit about the philosophy behind it. Kind of like, what was your when you developed the project? What was your kind of like internal thought process, and what were the main important aspects?
So I think to really understand Push 3, you gotta have to look at Push 1, because for us it's an evolution also. Push 1 was developed with Arcade together because we didn't have a hardware department. And fast forward to now, which is, I think Push 1 came 15 years, something like that out?
Something like that.
Yes. And yeah, so Push 1, like the initial idea was always to have a standalone instrument actually. So that's the vision. And then obviously, as a company who hasn't done hardware before, it's a very high goal. So we basically made it so that it's different steps. Push 1 was our first hardware thing. Push 2 was then solely done by us and optimized from what we learned with Push 1. And then Push 3 has also these MPE pads. So I think what we wanted to like give people the push that we wanted to initially, basically, what Push 1 wanted to be. And that's Push 3, I would say. So standalone and expressive sounds. I think that's basically was always the vision, but now we're at a point where you actually can do it. Because obviously, lots of development time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can definitely understand. And now here at Superbooth, you actually have some really cool news together with III. Can you maybe talk a little bit about what's going on there?
So what we did, so we have friends at III, they have an office here, they came by, they demoed their new speaker, and we demoed Push to them. And what we did is we had a little hack that we wanted to present on Superbooth because we just finished it a month ago. And basically, you can connect, not everyone, this is just with like special software. We made it possible so that you can use the transmitter and have Push without any cables, so there's nothing connected right now, and have a wireless, latency-free instrument through the transmitter to the speakers.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Exactly. I mean, this is basically an audio interface that is now supported for Push, and yeah, people can kind of maybe imagine what that means in the future, but for us this is a great first step, and especially we love the standalone ability of the speakers and the wirelessness, and so we wanted to integrate both just because the companies are friends.
Yeah. That's really cool to hear. And also maybe John, one final question. I mean, Push was just released still very recently, I would say, and I can imagine there's a lot of probably right now thought process going into what can we improve in the future, also from a UX perspective. Maybe can you talk a little bit about it? What's there to be expected to come?
Yes, so what we did, so I think there's a lot of things to come. What people have to understand, like to make a product like this, when they ask me like what is the biggest feature, I open the setup always. So we have so many new setups, Wi-Fi, all of that, file transferring, and it takes a while to make this work. And we're at a spot now where we made the ground very good, and I think for designing more musical features in the future, now we are set up in a perfect way. So I think the future for Push is going to be very bright, and it's MPE pads.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Moritz. Appreciate it. I'm now here at the main modular hall where I will meet with my friends from OXI Instruments. Let's check out what they have new in stock. I've just been to the OXI Instruments booth, and what you're hearing in the background is their new module called Meta. It's a really cool multi-performance module where you have a filter, like for example a DJ style filter, but also a delay, a reverb, and it's really meant to kind of like, yeah, create these cool performance effects to enhance your performance, as you can hear right now. Now, what got me really interested about it is that the people from OXI actually mentioned that they are also not only planning to release this as a module, which will come in summer, but also later on release a pedal version of it. And this is really cool because I can imagine something like this in my setup as well, because I'm looking for something basically end of chain on the master where I can use multiple performance effects just to enhance my performances even more, not only using my own Ableton performance template, but also some external stuff. And this one seems really interesting for that. So I'm really crossing my fingers that they will get to this soon. And yeah, once it's there, I'll definitely check it out. And yeah, that wraps up my experience here from Superbooth 2024. I had an amazing time. I met some familiar faces, some new faces, experienced some really great musical machines. And yeah, I hope you like the content as well. If you did, a thumbs up or a sub to the channel is always appreciated. And then I'll see you again very soon here on the channel, where I will have some music out in the next weeks. So stay tuned for that and have an amazing day. See ya and take care. Bye.